All right then, a little bit of ring rustiness. This is my first video with my new Fujifilm XM5. So it's all been set up. It's replaced the X-T2, but yeah, probably not working. But here we go.
During the meanwhile.
During the meanwhilest. No, don't like that.
Well, hello. It's YouTube's number one. That's what the kids do, isn't it? Premiere, dog, budgie, and an idiot. Mostly Fujifilm, but occasionally Nikon shooting, nature, macro, and sometimes land and seascape photography channel. I think we now have that rather niche corner of YouTube dominated right now. Anyway, this past week we've been really busy in our garden, both on the gardening and on the photography fronts, but we've not been able to get out and record a proper video, if you will. And rather than just playing a montage of the new images we've taken, and there are quite a few, I figured I'd at the very least, talk to you about the kit I used to get them. So instead of one montage, you're going to get three, with me interrupting proceedings throughout. Montages just like this one. Well, how's that for starters? Anyway, before we begin in earnest, who's earnest, you say? Some exciting news here at Meanwhilest Towers. Yesterday, which was Monday, if you're watching this, or tomorrow, as I'm filming this on Sunday, we went to see a Border Terrier pup. Now, some time ago, we looked into getting a companion for Dexter, someone to keep him young as he gets older, and hopefully we'll be getting that companion for him soon. And I'll let you know on Saturday how things are going to go, or how they went. Anyway, it's Back to the Future stars, this sort of stuff. Right then, anyway, back to the matter at hand and the present day. My macro kit. And first off, rather obviously, is the camera, or rather cameras I use. It's all rather embarrassing, really, because at the last count, I've now got 5. And they are 2 full-frame Nikon DSLRs, a D700 and a D800E, 3 APS-C mirrorless Fujifilms, an XH2, XT2, and the latest edition, which is filming this, an XM5, although I bought that principally for video mainly, and not really as a macro camera, but I got it, so it counts. And before anyone says, yes, I know I am privileged and lucky to be able to own all these cameras, and I thank my lucky stars, I really do, every day. But with the way my life has gone in general, I think I deserve some pleasures. My main camera, though, is the XH2. It's the resolution, ergonomics, and fully articulating screen, which makes shooting at awkward angles a breeze, and they're the main advantages really to it. I do use my Nikons a fair bit as well, mainly for a lens that I'll get onto in a bit. But the Nikons, they are older, heavier, and have fixed screens, making working down low a real issue, but they are still capable of some fantastic images. On the lens front, I have three main ones I use, and in order of usage they are a Laowa 65mm f2.8 2x magnification jobby, a Micro Nickel 105mm f2.8 G 1:1 lens, my favourite lens of all time, and a Fujinon 30mm f2.8 1:1 wider angle macro. It's the Laowa that sees the most use because it mounts natively onto my X-H2. It's extremely lightweight, and although a fully manual lens is a doddle to use thanks in no small part to Fujifilm's excellent focus aids. Oh, and it has that 2x magnification ratio when at its closest focus distance of around 15 centimeters or 6 inches. Now, the 30mm macro gives me a new, wider perspective, enabling more environmental shots, if you like, as well as autofocus, should I need it. But I only tend to use that really when I'm doing like autofocus, focus brackets. Otherwise, everything just usually in manual focus mode. And lastly, but by no means leastly, is the Nikkor. It is an absolutely superb lens, easily in my mind the best I've ever used, either natively mounted to one of my Nikons or adapted to my Fujifilms. And to enable that, I have a Fringer smart adapter, which means I can use autofocus should I want. But more importantly, it gives me control over the aperture I use and records it in the EXIF data for the image. And I'll link to a video I made somewhere up there all about the adapter. Now, speaking of links, I'll also pop one onto a video I made about this next item, a Raynox DCR 250 magnifier. Now, this simple magnifying glass fits on the end of any lens and, would you believe, increases that lens's magnification. It can turn any lens into a macro one, whilst also really increasing an already macro lens's magnification abilities or properties even further. Well worth the low cost of entry, I feel, even given its few shortcomings, and watch that video to find out. So, with the main bits of kit out of the way, here are some more images from the last week or so. See, I told you I've been really busy. Right then, on to the accessories I use. Now, this might be a little bit more interesting, I suppose. Well, I got a couple of camera bags ranging from a Shimoda Action X30 through an old Low Pro of some description and onto an even older Billingham one. Now, obviously, I don't need a bag if I'm out in the garden, but if I do go out, then my choice depends really on for how long I'm going out for and how much kit I want to take. I tend to use the Billingham more often than not with my macro sort of macro kit and macro outings. Now, although the vast majority of my macro images are made handheld, when I do use a tripod, I rely on my now 10-year-old 3-legged thing, Brian, with a first edition OG Airhead. Now, this combo has to be one of my one of my best ever buys, really. It's been everywhere with me in all weather conditions, and although a little battle scarred, is as flawless in use today as it was when new. I have modified the head slightly with the addition of a quick release Arca Swiss plate, much less fuss than a screw-in one. I sometimes also use a Nissi macro rail to aid with getting sharp focus when working at the lenses, or whatever lens is closest focus, and therefore maximum magnification distance. I find it easier to make micro adjustments with the rail rather than, twiddling the focus ring on the lens. And I also make use sometimes of a Nissi circular bracket type thing, like an L bracket alternative, which enables me to have my camera correctly oriented while working, close to the ground. Now, I did sort of invent a Heath Robinson contraption a few years back, and I'll link to that video somewhere as well. Now on to lighting, and while I prefer using natural light to photograph, natural things in their natural environments, if necessary, I do employ either a Godox Lightmons LED, or lately I've been experimenting with these uber adjustable snake-like two-headed lamps. They're a cheap knockoff version of a much more expensive alternative, and given the limited use I put them to, I simply couldn't justify spending a lot of money. Next up is some sort of reflector to help reflect any light onto an otherwise darker side of a subject. I have this simple one with either a plain white or a gold side, which folds quite neatly, which I use quite regularly. I do carry a circular polarizer with me as well, as many natural surfaces have distracting reflections. Leaves in particular can be a bugger, and the only way to remove, or at least control them, is with a polarizing filter. I have a 77mm K&F concept one and some step-up rings for all my lenses. Now I use a screw-in one for my macro work, as I find the extra girth handy, and I don't have to worry about it causing any vignetting. Not even the 30mm is wide enough to see that creeping in. Also on the filter front, I sometimes use this halo effect filter to give a more dreamy result or look, to my images. I do prefer, where possible though, to create that look naturally by shooting through, foliage or leaves or something. But this filter is handy where that's not an option. Now lastly is a homemade accessory in the shape of some thin net curtain attached to some bamboo, which I use to diffuse either strong natural light or the light from my LED. I really want to avoid high contrast, bright highlights and deep shadows, so anything to diffuse a bright sunny day into something softer is always handy to have. Right then, there we do actually have it. All the stuff I use to create my images, all I can remember anyway. And to finish off, at last I hear you all cry. Here are some more from recent days. Until next time, be nice, okay? should have left it at the montage, shouldn't I? Yeah. Oh well, done now.